prolonged shifts in temperatures and weather patterns. These shifts may be natural, such as the variations in the solar cycle. But since the 1800s, human activities have been the main driver of climate change, primarily through the burning fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas. Burning fossil fuels generate greenhouse gas emissions that act as a blanket wrapped around the Earth, trapping the sun's heat and raising temperatures. Examples of greenhouse gas emissions that are causing climate change include carbon dioxide and methane. These came from using gasoline for driving a car or coal for heating a building, for example. Clearing land and forests can also release carbon dioxide. Landfills for garbage are a major source of methane emissions. Energy, industry, transport, buildings, agriculture, and land use are among the main emitters.
Global warming is a phenomenon of climate change characterized by a general increase in average temperatures of the Earth, which modifies the weather balances and ecosystems for a long time. It is directly linked to the increase of greenhouse gases in our atmosphere, worsening the greenhouse effect.
So, what are the causes of climate change?
Well, the greenhouse effect is a natural phenomenon. However, the increase in greenhouse gases is linked to human activities. Thus, no surprise that the world's leading climate scientists believe that human activities are likely the main cause of global warming since the mid-20th century, mostly because of
fossil fuels. The massive use of fossil fuels is obviously the first source of global warming. Deforestation. The exploitation of forests has a major role in climate change. Trees help to regulate the climate by absorbing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. When they are cut down, this positive effect is lost and the carbon dioxide stored in the trees is released into the atmosphere.
Intensive farming. Another cause of global warming is intensive farming. Not only the ever-increasing livestock, but also with the plant protection products and fertilizers. In fact, cattle and sheep produce large amount of methane when digesting their food, while fertilizers produce nitrous oxide emissions. Waste disposal. Waste management methods like landfills and incineration emit greenhouse and toxic gases, including methane. They are released into the atmosphere, soil, waterways, and contributing to the increase of greenhouse effect.
Mining. Modern life is highly dependent on the mining and metallurgical industry. Metals and minerals are the raw materials used in the construction, transportation, and manufacturing of goods. From extraction to delivery, this market accounts for 5% of all greenhouse gas emissions. Overconsumption. Finally, overconsumption also plays a major role in climate change. In fact, it is responsible for the overexploitation of natural resources and emissions from international freight transport, which both contribute to global warming. On biodiversity, the increase of temperatures and the climate upheavals disturb the ecosystems, modify the conditions and cycles of plant reproduction. The scarcity of resources and climate change are changing life habits and migratory cycles of animals. We are already witnessing the disappearance of many species, including endemic species, or conversely, the intrusion of invasive species that threaten crops and other animals.
On oceans. Because of global warming, permafrost and ice are melting massively at the poles, increasing the sea level at a rate never known before. In a century, the increase reached 18 cm, and the worst case scenario is rise up into 1 meter by 2100. The acidification of the ocean is also a great concern. In fact, the large amount of carbon dioxide captured by the oceans make them more acidic, arousing serious questions about the adaptability of seashells or coral reefs.
On humans. Human beings are not spared by these upheavals. Climate change is affecting the global economy. It is already shaking up social, health, and geopolitical balances in many parts of the world. The scarcity of sources like food and energy gives rise to the new conflicts. Rising sea levels and floods are causing population migration. Small island states are in the front line. The estimated number of climate refugees by 2050 is 250 million people.
On the weather, for decades now, meteorologists and climatologists around the world have been watching the effects of global warming on the weather phenomena, and the impact is huge. More droughts and heat waves, more precipitations, more natural disasters like floods, hurricanes, storms and wildfires, frost-free season, etc.
Prevention for global warming. Renewable energies. The first way to prevent climate change is to move away from fossil fuels. What are the alternatives? Renewable energies like solar, wind, biomass, and geothermal. Energy and water efficiency. Producing clean energy is essential, but reducing our consumption of energy and water by using more efficient devices is less costly and equally important.
Promoting public transportation, carpooling, but also electric and hydrogen mobility can definitely help reduce CO2 emissions and thus fight global warming. Encouraging better use of natural resources, stopping massive deforestation as well as making agriculture greener and more efficient should also be a priority.
Responsible consumption and recycling. Adopting responsible consumption is very crucial, and recycling is an absolute necessity for dealing with waste.
We think that Earth's temperature will keep going up for the next 100 years. This would cause more snow and ice to melt. Oceans would rise higher. Some places would get hotter. Other places might have colder winters with more snow. Some places might get more rain. Other places might get less rain. Some places might have stronger hurricanes.
We need to take part and try to stop global warming and other effects on climate change. If the Earth's temperatures continue to rise in the future, living things on Earth will become extinct due to the high temperatures. If humans contribute to control global warming, this world will be cooler and the high temperatures we currently have would decrease. If everybody as one takes stand and try to end most of the climate changes that are occurring, this world will be a safer place to live on.